Hello everyone, and welcome back to a bit of a different kind of video, considering most of the videos I've been uploading recently have been pretty much all video game related. And today I'm going to be reviewing the first part of JoJo, or at least the manga anyway, because I mean this video's kind of been in the back of my mind for a while. I was gonna do it ages ago and then I forgot and then like kind of gave up on the idea for ages, but now I want to do it again. So yeah. So yeah, we're going to be reviewing these hardcover JoJonian releases, which released probably, I don't know, maybe early 2010s or something. I'm pretty sure it was the first English release of these mangas, I think, because they've been released a couple of times in like different languages, but I believe these are the first time they've ever been printed in English. They're still only just finished part 4, so yeah, it's going to be quite a long time before every single volume ever gets printed. But anyway, before I talk about, the actual content, I do want to say that at first, when I heard that these were in hardcover, I was kind of like a little bit, concerned about how good the quality is, because a lot of the time, hardcover books tend to sometimes be not the best quality. Like they have like papery fronts and like almost like cardboardy feels, and they just feel really flimsy, like they're gonna fall apart. But these, like, they feel really sturdy. Like, I don't know what it's about them, like they have like sort of matte kind of main areas, but then like the prints on the front like feel really like glossy, and it feels really sturdy. So I will say that that is a good thing. Anyway, there's only 3 of them for this, for Phantom Blood. That's what the first part's called, by the way, if you weren't aware. Yeah, there's only 3 volumes. I might get round to doing a review of Battle Tendency of Part 2 and Stardust Crusaders. But I'm currently I currently only have the first volume of Stardust Crusaders, so it's gonna be a long time before I can get the part 3 video done, because yeah, but we expect to see a part 2 video to this. But anyway, the basic plot of these books are essentially there's this kid called Jonathan Joestar, aka Jojo, and he comes from a very upper class family, and one day his father adopts a boy called Dio, and this is because Jonathan's dad, George Joestar, owes Dio's dad a favour, so he adopts his son after he dies. Dio's dad kind of tricked George into thinking that he was helping him, when really he was just trying to rob him when he was in a carriage accident. I don't know if that's a word, but it's not a car accident, so whatever. But it turns out Dio is a meanie head, and he tries to take over the family fortune and get up to all kinds of shenanigans, like becoming a vampire and sleeping for 100 years. So it's basically Jonathan's job to try and stop Dio, and that's basically the entire first part. It's really, really short. The anime is only 9 episodes long, and I read the entire manga in like a matter of days. But something which I found kind of cool about the actual like physical books themselves is that some of the pages are printed in this like, I don't even know, like a kind of orangey and beigey and like very like shaded kind of way, which I think looks pretty cool. And then obviously the rest of it is just black and white, obviously, but I think it's kind of cool. And then some of it is even in color, like the first few pages. And I believe I believe that's all the color for the book. The first book is like really thin. I read this in literally, I think like a day and a bit, literally like an evening and like a bit of the next morning. But then as they progress, they get thicker and thicker. Like you can see the difference here. It's definitely noticeable. Actually, oh crap! It's yeah, it's definitely noticeable as well. It's actually more noticeable in person, but like it is a lot thicker. Okay, here's an example. The last volume of part 2. This is how thick that is, and then this is like there. So like, surely this is noticeable. Yeah, like that's definitely a big difference in how thick these are. They do vary in thickness a lot. Like that one I just showed was like twice the size of this one. I also really like the consistency and like the same kind of pattern these are printed. Like this is the first volume to part 2 and part 3. and I just think it's I don't know, I just think it looks cool on a shelf. And then part 4 happened and it kind of ruined that because it changed the entire design, but whatever. At least part 5 has a similar take on the part 4 one, which is nice, I guess. I mean, I maybe prefer the new designs overall, but I just still think that it's the consistency and the way they match is probably better with these kind of releases. I mean, they're the same release, obviously, they're still JoJonian, but like, you know what I mean, like the part 1 to 3 prints, I think just match up better than the new ones. Something that I was kind of not expecting, which was a little bit disappointing, was but I think it was still a little bit annoying that they still have the localized names like Blueford instead of Bruford. But I guess it makes sense because obviously copyright and all that. But yeah, I definitely recommend these releases, and I think that it's probably the best way to experience the manga. Obviously, you know, if you're not willing to buy them, then obviously like digital's the way to go. But I still think it's you know, it's nice having physical copies. So I definitely recommend these if you're gonna invest in JoJo manga. In terms of the story itself, as a review, I mean, the first time I watched the anime, I was kind of like, it was a very slow start and it was a little hard to get into, but like, and I really only probably got into it when part 2 really started. But after like going back and reading these, like, I don't know why, because like it like immediately hooked me when I went and read the manga, and then I watched the anime again and I was like, wow, yeah, I was really missing a lot. So I assume it was just a me thing, but or maybe it's the manga that helped me get into Phantom Blood. But yeah, I just think it's a cool little story. It's easy to just reread if I want to, because it's, you know, short and quite easygoing. The only problem is that they're kind of expensive if you want to get them new. I've been getting all mine pretty much, well, I've been getting most of mine used because, you know, they're kind of expensive. But apart from that, these are definitely a very good way to get into it. But anyway, that's pretty much all I have to say for this video. It's kind of a short one. I just kind of thought this would be a cool thing to review. And anyway, goodbye.